Mayor, that you're supposed to have filed a report on spending on illegal aliens in Chicago with the White House by now. What's happening with that, or what has happened with it?
We don't have illegal aliens. I don't know if that's from some sort of sci-fi message that you had. Well, listen, the legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too?
You ask a mayor about city spending on migrants, and he acts like you just quoted a sci-fi movie. Mayor Brandon Johnson continues to crash out. He hears the word illegal aliens and then instantly starts crashing out and says, we don't have those. Instead of answering the question, he makes it about himself, even comparing the term to slavery. We're going to talk about this, and it seems like it's a pattern of him crashing out, but this is another example of how politicians dodge accountability with emotional wordplay instead of facts. Let's get into it.
Mr. Mayor, that you're supposed to have filed a report on spending on illegal aliens in Chicago with the White House by now. What's happening with that, or what has happened with that?
We don't have illegal aliens. I don't know if that's from some sort of sci-fi message that you had. Well, listen, the legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too? So look, let's just get the language right. We're talking about undocumented individuals that are human beings. The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist, nasty language to describe human beings. And so as far as our spending on Chicagoans, I put forth a $16.7 billion balanced budget that ensures that we're investing in education, transportation, housing, youth employment, environmental justice, as well as ensuring that we have safe communities. And we are going to challenge the ultra wealthy to pay their fair share.
Dude didn't even try to answer the question. Mind you, he didn't answer the question. He heard the word illegal aliens and then just short-circuited. This man reacted like someone just insulted his wife, someone just kicked his dog, and this happens every single time. This is not just some random heckler on the street. This is the reporter asking about spending, money, budgets, real stuff. But instead of giving a number, he wants to give us all a performance. Dramatic nonsense, talking about this is racist language.
Considering that FBAs and even non-FBAs find your illegal alien slave comparison Lost in Space cadet out of this world, and also considering what Malcolm X said about white liberal racism being the death of blacks, how is blocking Willie Wilson from empowering some 17,000 Chicago Housing Authority seniors with food and nonpartisan voting registration during a government shutdown, by the way, and led by Democrats, and your Democratic allies blocking him from testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee on what he feels is the need for militarized federal intervention in Chicagoland, not nasty and racist.
All right, I'm going to try to answer the last part of the question. Dehumanizing people is dangerous, and it is nasty, and it is racist. And what we cannot allow as a country, but more broadly as humanity, we cannot allow people to be dehumanized, because what it does is it opens up viciousness. Because if they're not seen as human beings, then whatever you do against them can be justified. And no one is going to convince me what the Trump administration is doing against black people and brown people can ever be justified. It is racist. When you bombard into people's homes in the middle of the night and you take black babies out of their bed and you zip tie them, that's sick. That's what.
Like, come on, this is getting ridiculous. This is the pattern with Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago. You can say anything that makes him look bad. He flips it around. He gets extremely emotional. And I've been watching this guy for quite a while, and there's countless times that he has been extremely immature and emotional when it comes to talking to the press, talking to reporters, not even the random people on the street. Let's check out some of his greatest hits.
Actually, if all of you can, just maybe even just a show of your hands, how many of you support taking out a
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
For a teacher's contract?
If you have a question for the mayor of Chicago, you can ask me a question. What you are not going to do is litigate what the board has the authority to do once they're appointed. You can ask that once they are appointed. No. I'm not going to do it. It's disrespectful. Do you have a question for me?
Okay, I'm sorry that you brought them up here, and it is a
Do you have a question for me? You got to ask your question. I'm trying to be patient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody else in here is taking this long to monologue. So respect your colleagues.
Well, out of respect,
to the question.
Out of respect for Jess,
okay, ask the question,
Jesse Kendall and his family.
William, I'm going to give you one more opportunity to ask a question. I'm going to move on. I get so sick and tired of people believing that the only thing that black and brown and poor people get to get in this city are badges. I get so sick and tired of people in this country and in this city that believes that the only thing that you can offer black people and poor people is jails, incarceration, and police officers. The law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities.
So you see, I've been watching this guy for the last year or so, and this is par for the course. He doesn't seem like he's able to handle this. He wants to make this type of thing into some kind of moral lecture. He gets to look like the victim, not the mayor. Every reaction seems like he is crafted for the camera, but not a city. And here where it gets worse, because he's not just dodging the questions, he's comparing illegal aliens to slavery. Slavery, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Most of the slaves were forced here. Illegal immigrants, most of them chose to come here. It's not the same. Even if you're talking about issues with trafficking, still a very small amount of people are forced. Most choose to come here. It's not even nuance. It's just complete nonsense. You can't rewrite history to dodge a question. And it just makes him look very weak. A grown man running the 4th largest city in America, a black man running the 4th largest city in America, acting like a word alien is some kind of personal attack. Because I believe that people in Chicago are tired of these emotional TikTok moments instead of real answers. And this is why his approval rating is circling down the drain. I understand he doesn't like Trump. He doesn't like what ICE is doing. This is a question for Chicago, not for the entire country. So it seems like he is trying to pull some cheap emotional trick instead of just providing a real answer. Slavery was state-sanctioned brutality and control. It was chains, it was ships, it was centuries of legal bondage. To even put that in the same sentence as illegal alien is just historically illiterate. It's a lazy emotional trick, a way to make himself look righteous without actually being right. And I think many people are seeing right through it. I mean, come on, let's be serious. No matter how messy the immigration system is, it is not the same as being kidnapped and forced into generational bondage. That's not even a debate. It just seems to be distortion. It seems like the more he leans on that line, the more it backfires, because people are not dumb. They know when someone is trying to guilt trip them instead of answering a straight question. And I'm really concerned with Brandon Johnson because I remember reading a story about him suffering a panic attack or having some mental health issues. And I'm watching the clips of him reacting towards reporters. The first one to get really upset, to get triggered, is usually him. It's not the reporters.
Chicagoans are saying to me that they're concerned about you. That they,
all right, we need the question now. We need the question right now.
There are widespread rumors of your panic attacks. That,
all right, we're going to keep moving.
And they're concerned.
Here, Charlie.
They're concerned about your mental health. Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor. The people of Chicago want to know, are you okay?
I asked that same question about you last week, if you're okay, because it's not clear to me that you are, and I mean this with all sincerity. I want you to get the help that you need. I do. Seek it. Seek it.
Do you think
let's move on to the next.
So I'm wondering, should he be doing something else? Not everyone is built to be mayors and governors and even presidents. It takes a lot of mental strength to do it. And the way he reacts every time he gets a little bit of pushback, he doesn't handle it well. It's like emotionally, It seems like this is too big for him. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. That original question was about migrant spending, and he didn't really want to talk about it because he already knows he spent a lot of money on the migrants. That's why the budget is in the situation that it is in. That's why his approval rating is so low. He messed up. He overspent on something that didn't really help the people in Chicago. So him trying to turn a legal language into a racial slur, but the word alien is literally written in federal law, so it's not really an insult, it's just a classification. Even if you wanted to change that word, no big deal, still answer that question the reporter asked of you instead of getting bogged down in labels. If your leadership collapsed every time someone used a legal term, maybe the problem isn't the question, maybe it's you. He thinks these emotional outbursts makes him look strong, and really it comes across as the complete opposite. But let me know what you guys think about this situation in the comments below. Do you believe that illegal alien, that term is, I guess, synonymous with slavery or slaves? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.